Prosecutors now revealing that the co-pilot locked the captain out of the cockpit, and they do believe that he intentionally flew that jet filled with 150 people right into that mountain.
Well, said the pilot made a deliberate series of maneuvers with clear intention to crash, and the pilot reportedly had marital problems.
And he was being demoted and took control of the plane when the captain stepped out of the cockpit, sending it into a nosedive toward the ocean.
For decades, commercial aviation travel has become progressively safer. But one cause of death stubbornly persisted: pilots who intentionally crash planes in murder-suicides. Preliminary evidence suggests that the fall of a jet from the China Eastern Airlines in March 2022 could be the most recent of these tragedies, said a person familiar with the investigation. If confirmed, it would be the fourth since 2013. Bringing the deaths in these accidents to 554. If the China Eastern accident is confirmed as the latest suicide, it would mean that deaths due to intentional acts have exceeded all other causes since the start of 2021. Today, join us on a somber journey as we endeavor to analyze the circumstances surrounding two tragic crashes that unfolded in the sky. On the fateful morning of March 24, 2015, Germanwings Flight 9525 departed from Barcelona El Prat Airport, bound for Düsseldorf Airport. Little did the passengers and crew know that this routine flight would soon turn into a devastating tragedy. 10:31 a.m., as the plane crossed the French coast near Toulon, a series of inexplicable events unfolded. The aircraft, cruising at 38,000 feet, abruptly deviated from its assigned altitude, initiating a rapid descent without air traffic control approval. Within 10 minutes, the plane descended to 6,175 feet at an average rate of 3,400 feet per minute. The air traffic controller, desperately trying to establish contact, declared the aircraft in distress. French military scrambled a Mirage jet from Orange Caritat Air Base to intercept. But tragically, radar contact was lost at 10:40 CET. The Airbus A320 crashed in the remote commune of Prades-Haute-Bléone, 100 kilometers northwest of Nice. The seismic recordings from the Grenoble Observatory marked the impact at 10:41, leaving no doubt about the tragic fate that had befallen the 150 souls on board. As investigations unfolded, a chilling revelation emerged. The crash was a deliberate act orchestrated by the co-pilot, Andreas Günther Lubitz. Lubitz, alone in the cockpit after the captain left, locked the door and initiated a controlled descent that ended in catastrophe. Andreas Günther Lubitz, once a promising aviator, underwent training at Luftsport Club Westerwald before joining the Lufthansa trainee program in September 2008. However, his aspirations were momentarily derailed by a severe episode of depression, leading to a hiatus in his training. After overcoming his mental health challenges, Lubitz resumed his training, moving to the United States in 2010 to continue at the Lufthansa Airline Training Center in Goodyear, Arizona. But question remains: did he really get rid of his depression? 3 days after the devastating crash of Germanwings Flight 9525, investigators delved into co-pilot Andreas Günther Lubitz's life. During the search of Lubitz's apartment, a pivotal discovery was made. A letter from a doctor declaring Lubitz unfit to work. Germanwings, however, claimed they had not received any sick note from Lubitz for the day of the flight, hinting that he may have concealed his health condition. German employment law prohibits employers from accessing employees' medical records, relying on individuals to disclose their fitness for work. A subsequent search unearthed more concerning evidence. It was revealed that Lubitz was dealing with a psychosomatic illness and was on prescription medication. Investigators disclosed his internet searches on topics like ways to commit suicide and cockpit doors and their security provisions in the days leading up to the crash. Reports from Lubitz's doctor indicated that he should not have been flying, but medical confidentiality rules prevented the physician from sharing this critical information with Germanwings. This raised questions about the delicate balance between medical confidentiality and public safety, particularly in the context of aviation. Now, question to be asked: was it an isolated incident, or is there a certain pattern to it? In the late afternoon of December 19, 1997, SilkAir Flight 185, a Boeing 737-300, embarked on what should have been a routine journey from Jakarta, Indonesia, to Singapore's Changi Airport. On board were 97 passengers and 7 crew members, including the experienced 41-year-old Captain Su Wei Ming and 23-year-old First Officer Duncan Ward. The flight progressed uneventfully until a sudden and tragic turn of events at 16:05. Without warning, the cockpit voice recorder, CVR, ceased recording, followed by the flight data recorder, FDR, at 16:11. Within moments, the aircraft entered a rapid, nearly vertical, supersonic dive, disintegrating as it descended 12,000 feet and crashing into the Musi River. The aftermath revealed a harrowing scene, with debris scattered over a wide area, some pieces embedded 15 feet into the riverbed. Shockingly, no complete bodies or identifiable remains were recovered from the 104 casualties, representing various nationalities. The investigation into this catastrophic event unfolded amid conflicting theories. The U.S. National Transportation Safety Board, NTSB, pointed to deliberate flight control inputs, most likely by Captain Su, as the cause. As suspicions initially fell on First Officer Duncan Ward, who was alone in the cockpit when the CVR stopped recording, investigations quickly dispelled any notion of his involvement in foul play. Attention then turned to Captain Su, who had left the cockpit at 16:00, minutes before the CVR failure. Investigators raised concerns about his potential role in intentionally disabling the CVR and speculated that he might have exited the cockpit to tamper with the FDR. Captain Su's personal life came under scrutiny, revealing a troubling financial situation, with losses of $1.2 million in share trading and recent suspension from trading due to non-payment. A $600,000 life insurance policy, set to take effect on the day of the crash, added a sinister layer to the investigation, although it was later deemed a routine policy obtained for mortgage requirements. In addition to financial woes, Captain Su faced work-related challenges, including disciplinary actions and conflicts with co-pilots. The NTSB, emphasizing the intentional nature of the crash, pointed to evidence consistent with sustained manual nose-down flight control inputs and the intentional disconnection of the CVR. The mystery surrounding SilkAir Flight 185 persists, leaving a haunting legacy of conflicting narratives and unanswered questions surrounding the tragic events of that fateful day in 1997. In the realm of air travel, these other incidents, like Mozambique Airlines Flight 470, claiming 33 lives, Egypt Air Flight 990 with 217 casualties, and Japan Airlines Flight 350, resulting in 24 deaths, are just a glimpse into a series of horrifying events where pilots deliberately crashed their planes. They underscore the urgent need to prioritize the mental health of pilots. Each takeoff should culminate in a safe landing, a sentiment we all fervently hope for. So if you resonate with our content, please express your support by liking, commenting, and subscribing. Together, let's foster